So it's not like he's just getting shelved and it's just sitting there and being
I got a
ignored.
phone call right away once I did the letter for him, you know.
Yeah. That's super encouraging. Yeah.
Like,
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Roelly Winkler, the man who was originally known as the Beast, who asked the fans for more support if they want him to try harder and make a comeback. So whenever a legend talks about making a comeback, this gives all the fans the feeling of nostalgia. But let's not forget, Kai Green played the same card over and over again for so many years, and that is how he kept himself relevant. And eventually people got so fed up with him, and the fans, they felt so betrayed, that people out there now don't want to hear about him anymore, because they all feel like the comeback was simply never on the cards. So until we the fans see Roelly Winkler or any of these other IFBB pros who hasn't stepped on the stage for, let's say, 3 to 4 years now, they actually sign a contract, it will be just more talk. Don't get me wrong, we do want to see him back on the stage, but this is just something that people have now hard time to understand. And the reason, of course, is Kai Green. Now that being said, there is one bodybuilding show where Roelly can actually make a comeback and actually win it, and that is the Masters Olympia. So for those of you guys who do not know, Roelly is now 48 years old. So him coming back to any other regular show, that just simply doesn't make any sense. Because at this point, no matter what he does, he is only gonna be a shadow of his former self. Now most of us get distracted by the pictures or the video which is taken under those perfect lighting with a pump, and in this case, that is Roelly's side chest with those super bombs, very round delts and amazing chest. So these muscle groups on him, they will always be some of the best we have ever seen in bodybuilding. But at the same time, some people need to understand that when these IFBB pros, they take this long of a break from competing, they just lose a lot of density and thickness, and couple that with that age factor, and that contributes to a wider waistline and smaller legs. That being said, if Roelly wants to make a comeback and he wants to retire on the stage, that is totally understandable and very much appreciated. And the fans out there, they will actually welcome that. So what do you guys think? Can we ever expect guys like Behrouz and Roelly to make a comeback and retire on the stage? Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. One of the best from Brazil, Ramon checks in at 8.5 weeks out from this year's Mr. Olympia. So the conditioning on him looks so damn good right now under those perfect lights. And we have every single reason to believe that this time Ramon is gonna be at his all-time best come Olympia this year. Because this time he's going to be all fresh. He hasn't competed since winning that show that was held in Brazil in that post-Olympia tour. So this is the first time he took a proper off-season since he came onto the scene, and that was back in 2021, where he placed top 5 at his Olympia debut. But that being said, his major problem is that he is already maxed out for his classic physique weight cap. And this is the reason why he looks way more round and more bubbly and more muscular at some point during the off-season or during those early stages of the prep, because he stays so damn lean all year round. And at that point, he really isn't restricting any food intake to come down to a certain weight. And that is why he has all that pop, all that roundness to his physique. So is he quote-unquote one of the most classic physiques in this year's Olympia lineup? Well, we all know he isn't. I mean, other than those top guys, we just saw Niall Darwin winning this year's Tampa Pro, and he has so much better flow and far better aesthetics than Ramon. But Ramon, on the other hand, he has more density, more thickness, and more muscle maturity. And the man is very complete, front to back. And I think he has some of the best abs in the entire classic physique. So combine all those things with improved posing and presentation this time, that certainly makes him one of the best to fight for this year's Olympia title. But only if he brings his all-time best which based on these pictures and videos, the man is well on his way to do that. So let me know what you guys think. What are the chances of Ramon winning the Olympia? Next up, we have the Egyptian tank Hassan Mustafa doing some post-workout posing from today. So he hasn't announced what show he's going for next. But I'm gonna say based on this video, he's surely gonna be stepping on the stage this year. Just wait till he turns around and hits the back double biceps. Simply incredible. Crazy density in that upper back. So much thickness and muscles right there. And there are feathers on his quads when he flexes them, especially in that side tricep. So Hassan has definitely made a big jump in his overall condition in the last couple of weeks. And he simply isn't among those guys who has ripped hamstrings weeks and weeks out of the show. In fact, he's one of those guys who changes a lot even in the last 1 week before the show. And if he continues to push hard, we might see him in one of those European shows, probably in one of the last Olympia qualifiers before the Olympia this year, which is in about 6 weeks' time. So Hassan is the type of athlete who we all want to see bring nasty kind of condition, because there are very few athletes out there who can actually rival him when it comes to that overall muscularity and thickness. So Hassan at his best, he could have won both the shows that he did last year, Chicago Pro and Toronto Pro, but unfortunately he came in way off. Now if somehow he can keep on bringing that waist in, and if he can work on his posing to create an illusion of having a small waistline, he's gonna be so much more impressive, because the front double biceps and the front lat spread, they are the weakest shots on him, and that is because of his wide waistline. Sergio Oliva Jr. looking really awesome, over 3 weeks out of this year's Italy Pro show, which is happening next month. And the most surprising and amazing thing is that his chest is looking the best it has ever looked here. And this is the same guy who himself said prior to this year's FIBA Germany that he has been unable to do any strong pressing movements throughout his last prep. So at this point, it kind of seems like that issue is going to be fixed the next time he steps on stage, which is gonna be very soon, and that is such an awesome thing for Sergio. So he's gonna be one of the veterans in these upcoming European shows. And at this point, you have got to admit that under those perfect lights and with that post-workout pump, Sergio looks pretty damn insane. But this isn't going to be an easy show for Sergio to win and qualify for the Olympia, especially with a guy like Quinton Beastwood, who has also confirmed that he might do all of the European tour. And he's a guy who has been carrying a lot of momentum after Tampa and Texas Pro. So Sergio knows he cannot outclass a guy like Quinton Beastwood in the aesthetics. Actually, nobody can in that lineup. But Sergio does have a lot of muscle, and he seems to be extremely satisfied with his journey with Stefan as his coach. And Sergio is kind of in a do-or-die situation. He has to win a show now. If not, the young physiques that he's going up against, they're gonna be even better next year. For instance, if Joseph Palacios, he also decides to do these upcoming shows. And we simply cannot say the same thing about Sergio because of his age.
So it's not like he's just getting shelved and it's just sitting there and being
I got a
ignored.
phone call right away once I did the letter for him, you know.
Yeah. That's super encouraging. Yeah.
Like they would double checking and
Is that the first time you've got a call from the customs about
it probably
athlete?
because I think
it
I did
is.
Stanimal, I did Regan, I did
The guy from China?
Kamal. Yeah, I did
I mean, I did it for Regan too. I never got the phone call.
So we finally got an update in regards to Behrouz Tabani and where he's at with that visa process. So it turns out that the process has been progressing slowly but steadily in the right direction, and they are doing a background check on Behrouz Tabani before they give him the green light. And Behrouz Tabani has been prepping for this upcoming Mr. Olympia all this time. Now you can see he looks to be in a crazy good condition for 9 weeks out. And after Jay Cutler revealed that he got a call in regards to Behrouz Tabani to vouch for him, well, this is the first real glimpse that Behrouz Tabani might actually get the visa for this year's Mr. Olympia, and we might finally see him compete with the best of the best come October this year. And we know if he gets there, he's gonna create a whole lot of trouble for a lot of guys who are on the edge of that first call out. And if he can bring up his legs, especially from the front, he can challenge a lot of big names. And that has been their focus all this time after Dubai Pro Show. His conditioning, we all know, is insane every single time he steps on stage. And we see it every year, how some of the top guys, they come in a tad bit off. So Behrouz Tabani finally getting to this year's Olympia stage after qualifying for the 4th year consecutively. That is not only gonna be so great for him, but for the sport too, and for all the bodybuilding fans. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.